Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Willowberry. Or if you're new, welcome. But where have you been? I'm so happy to see you here. My name is Valerie, and in today's video, we are on a home gardening journey here in the beautiful Virginia mountains, where we are preparing to build a garden shed. But first, I'll be watering my plants at dusk. So if you're interested, I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the video. I recently planted some veggies and flowers down here in our new garden patch, but I've been worried about being able to keep them watered enough since we don't have water access down by the garden yet. We plan to build a garden shed with a water catching system, but in the meantime, I had just planned to make several trips back and forth to the house to fill my 3 watering cans. After I expressed my concerns to y'all about the water situation in my last video, well, some of y'all had some great ideas of how to get water down to the garden. Someone suggested filling a trash can with water and hauling it down in my wagon. Well, that's when I remembered I had a rain barrel that we hadn't set up yet and figured it would fit in the wagon, and I could just fill it up with water up at the house and then haul it down to the garden. So this is how we have solved the water issue until we're able to build our water catching system down here in our new garden patch. I try to water my plants at least twice a day, once early in the morning and then again at dusk. Between the raised beds and the wildflower seeds that I planted, I end up filling my watering can at least 5 to 6 times on each trip in order to give the plants all the water that they need. That would have been multiple trips back and forth to the house, so I'm so thankful that we were able to solve the water issue with the rain barrel, even if it is just temporary. Tomorrow we begin to build the garden shed with a water catching system. We plan to attach gutters to the shed and divert the rainwater into 2 large 250-gallon IBC water storage tanks. Another viewer's comment suggested we attach soaker hoses to the storage tanks and allow the hose to self-water the plants while we are working in the garden. I love that idea, so we will definitely be looking into purchasing some soaker hoses. This is the inspiration for our garden shed with the water catching system. We plan to build a base to which we will attach a metal 8x12 garden shed. On the side of the shed, we plan to build a low deck to hold the water storage tanks, where gutters will divert water from the metal roof into the water tanks. But before we can start leveling out the ground for the base, we need to cut the grass where the shed will be built. We are building the garden shed down at the back of the garden patch, and we're hoping it will be big enough to hold all of our garden tools, including the rototiller and the lawnmower. Right now, our garden tools are spread out all over the property. We have some up by the house, some in the barn, and some left down in the garden. So it will be nice to be able to store all the tools in one convenient location right down near the garden patch. I especially want to clear out the barn because we eventually plan on adding some goats to the property, and they're going to need a place to sleep. Tim is mowing the grass where we plan to build the garden shed, and way back there in that field is where we plan to plant our orchard sometime this fall. We have several trees that still need to be removed before we can plant any fruit trees, so we weren't able to plant any this spring, and not to mention everything else that we plan to accomplish this spring, so we thought it would be better to wait to plant the trees until later this year. Now that the grass is cut, Tim can start bringing in the materials that he'll need to build the base for the shed. Tim will be leveling the ground where he plans to place some cinder blocks, and on top of the cinder blocks he'll be placing two 12-foot long 4x4 posts. Eventually he will build a frame around the posts, which will then become the base for the garden shed. It's a cool and dreary day here in the mountains of Virginia, and there's rain headed our way. In fact, we have already felt a few raindrops, so we're hoping that we can at least level the ground and get the post in the correct place before the rain really starts to fall. I'm so excited to see how our garden will grow. It's our first time ever trying to grow a vegetable garden. We have at least 60 seedlings back in the house that will need to be planted in the next few weeks, but we still have 2 more raised beds to build and to fill with garden soil. We have a lot of work still ahead of us, but hopefully all of our hard work will pay off when we're able to start harvesting all the delicious veggies that we will be planting. I really do love living here in the mountains. It's definitely a dream come true. I especially love being able to live out my dreams, and being able to share it with all of you is amazing. I want to thank you all for being here and for following us on our journey to being homesteaders here in our little slice of heaven. I've waited a long time for this dream to come true, and oh how I wish I could have started this journey many years ago, but I'm just so thankful that we're finally here. We're renovating an old 1975 double-wide trailer. We're growing vegetables, building a garden shed, and soon we'll have chickens, goats, and hopefully a donkey or two. But most of all, I'm just so happy to be living this dream alongside Tim and our 3 boys. I'm not going to lie, when we first moved in, I thought we'd made a huge mistake. But after all that we've accomplished so far, it's finally starting to feel like home, and I can't imagine living anywhere else in this whole world. Tim is making great progress leveling the ground and laying out the base for the shed. This part of the process has been a bit tedious, trying to get the base support in just the right spot, but I'm hoping this will be the hardest step. Hopefully, if this part is done correctly, then the rest of the shed building process will be a breeze. It's going to take a few days to finish this project, but it's going to be great practice for when we build the chicken coop, because the chicken coop will be identical to the garden shed minus the water catching system. It's starting to rain more now, and since Tim and I have both been sick recently, we really don't want to get caught out in the rain, so we're going to be wrapping this up real soon. Tim is just about finished leveling off the ground for the base support, but unfortunately this video will need to be continued until next time. In the next video, we will be building the frame around the support posts and laying down the floor. I can already see the shed sitting there at the back of the garden patch, so I hope the rain passes by real fast so that we can get back to work and make this dream a reality. Because the sooner we finish this shed, the sooner we can get to building the chicken coop, which will be my biggest dream to come true yet. Alright y'all, well I guess that's about it for another video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next one. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye y'all.